All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Wednesday, October 16th, 2019. Just posted the NHL notes. The postseason baseball game was rained out today, delayed until tomorrow. So we got hockey today, and we're going to get to hockey. I just want to make sure everybody saw that Joe Maddon was hired by the Los Angeles Angels, the team with the highest paid player in baseball, Mike Trout. And don't forget this story, because today's October 16th, 1016, a lot like 116. Next year's the 116th World Series. This could be a clue right here. Just like, the Nationals advancing to the 115th World Series yesterday, 1015 over the 115 team Cardinals. So, Joe Maddon, just a few things about his hiring that stand out. His full name equals 89, like Los Angeles, California, also like Los Angeles Dodgers. He's coaching the Angels, though. Joe Maddon Jr., his name's 109, like Los Angeles. He's hired on a date with 45 numerology. Joe Maddon, what he's most commonly called as the 45 value, as well as 162. Today's his 251st day of his age, the 54th prime number, big baseball number, baseball 54, 162, Major League Baseball 162, MLB 162. And Los Angeles Angels also sums to 167, the 39th prime. Joe Maddon's birthday is February 8th, the 39th day of the year. Remember, Mike Trout is signed through the age of 39. Angels 39. And then, of course, we had the death of Tyler Skaggs this year, which was a big part of the season. And with the whole Nationals thing, I'm reminded I got to keep track of history better, because I knew that Steve Scalise shooting was a World Series clue at the time, and I really should have thought about how that was the 115th Congress and the 115th World Series. Had we done a little simple math, he was 51 years old. We could have calculated that the Nationals would have been in their 51st season for the 115th World Series. And anyhow, we found it better late than never, right? We found it before the postseason really got underway there. And we identified there was a good chance that the World Series would be the Nationals and the Astros. And I advised people to put down a little something on that, because it seemed like it was a worthy bet. So, remains to be seen if it'll be Nationals versus Astros or Yankees. But the Skull and Bones rituals, hard to go against, that we've been documenting. Also about Maddon, he coached the Angels for part of the season in 96 and 99. From the first time he partially coached them in 96 to 2020, the year he'll be the manager, is 24 years later. Maddon and Angel both equal 24 as well. 89 is also the 24th prime, again like how Los Angeles has the 89 connection, so does his full name. But here it is, back when they were the California Angels. 22 games. Angels is 22. 29 and 99. So anyway, this could be a big clue for next year. 1016, 116th World Series. So don't let this one slip through the cracks. Okay. That said, let's talk about hockey today. Again, I just want to review the last 2 days of hockey and then get to today's games. Again, remember how the point riddles are what are best in hockey. So, Columbus Day was good for us because we were able to really clue into those Columbus Day riddles. So, October 14th, Monday, that was Columbus Day. Let's see. The strong Columbus Day riddle in this game was how if the Bruins beat the Ducks, it would sync up with the numbers of Columbus Day, which was 136 and 37, and that's exactly what happened. The Bruins, for my person out there who wants me to say Bruins, it's hard for me to say it that way. I just like brooms. It's easier. But Bruins, they got it done. Went right with Columbus Day. The Wild and the Senators, shout out to Izzy. Sorry I was rough on Izzy yesterday. But Izzy had this one pegged right. He really liked the Senators to lose this game and fall to 1-4 on the 14th, and the Wild to improve to 1-4. He was right on with that. That's exactly what happened. The Panthers and the Devils, we saw that if the Panthers won, they'd get up their 37th win versus the Devils on Columbus Day 37. Exactly what they did. The Islanders and Blues didn't really have a Columbus Day riddle. It was just the day leaving 78 days left in the year. New York equals 78 and 33. Islanders had a chance to improve to 3-3. They did. And the Blues had a narrative through their away record. They could have improved to 3-1 away. Blues is 31. But again, the head-to-head records are typically better. And we're just wondering if there might be a World Series clue in this game, because these teams had met 115 times prior to this game. St. Louis has been eliminated. If New York gets eliminated, perhaps that was some sort of riddle right there. These two teams meeting in the time of the MLB postseason, coming in with 115 games played. They might be the two cities that are out of the 115th World Series. The Stars and Sabres, again, there was a nice little riddle here through prime numbers. If the Stars lost, they'd be 1-5-1, like 151, the 36th prime. Buffalo's 36. Buffalo had a chance to become 4-0 at home versus the Stars. Stars 40. And Dallas had a chance to fall to 1-3 away, which they did. And the score of that game was 4-0. Avalanche and Capitals. We were talking about the Capitals falling to 3-2-2 for the Skull and Bones ritual, which we just, been documenting with the Nationals. It just only seemed fitting during the time of the baseball postseason. Capitals lost, fell to 3-2-2. Plus the Avalanche became 5-0 in Washington. Washington equals 50, Avalanche 50. So that made good sense. If there was any game that was surprising on Columbus Day, it was that the Blackhawks won. And again, we talked about that possibility. There might be a trade-off since the year prior, 3 teams with native symbolism were humiliated on Columbus Day, also Indigenous People Day. There was a points riddle that would have made sense if the Oilers won too, because they would have got their 12th points against Chicago. Chicago 37, the 12th prime. The prime number relationships always hit. It would have been better if the Oilers were going for their 37th points against Chicago, where Chicago is 37, but oftentimes the prime number relationships do hit. So I'd say if there was any surprise on Columbus Day, it was the Blackhawks game, but at the same time, it sort of made sense. So there's often trade-offs. You get humiliated one year, the next year you bounce back. Again, Virginia Cavaliers college basketball, perfect example. So Columbus Day, majority of our riddles expected came through. Yesterday, another good day in hockey. Majority of the riddles coming through. So far in the hockey season, there's been 2 bad days where we were on the wrong side of riddles, but almost every day has been a good day in hockey so far. And it'll get better as the season goes on because the points riddles will become more clear. But yesterday, and for the people who leave the comments, that if you go to this post and read the comments, feel like, these notes are so stupid. How can I make anything out of this? If those are sincere comments and not trolls, you might want to look in the mirror and tell me what's stupid. Because when I bold something, which I clearly explain, it's the narrative I like. So like this game, it was the 23rd game between both teams. 23 is the 9th prime. The Maple Leafs can get their 9th points of the season and their 23rd points all-time versus the Wild. Wild can also fall to 1-5 on the 15th. I do always document what could be the alternative narrative, but usually you have to pick between what's better. And as I routinely say, points in hockey is where it's at. So the Maple Leafs losing riddle would have been to become 3-3-1 against Minnesota, because Minnesota's 1-3-3. But notice I didn't bold that yesterday. I thought this was the strongest thing, just like I said in the live stream. And anyway, so yesterday's game, Maple Leafs take it 4-2. The Lightning and Canadiens, it was a date with 44 numerology. Lightning's 44, so you got to watch for that. It doesn't mean the Lightning are going to win. It was the 102nd game between the two teams. It's the Canadiens' 102nd season. Montreal Canadiens 102, National Hockey League 102. Remember this year, it began on 10/2. It'll be the 102nd Stanley Cup. So this game right here, I did think the Canadiens might get it because it was the 102nd game. I was favoring them, but this isn't a real clear narrative. There's nothing screaming out about the points. Had the Lightning lost in regulation, they would have stayed on 5 points on the 15th triangular number relationship. But I would have leaned Canadiens on this one, but still not a real strong riddle there. The Coyotes and the Jets. The Coyotes came in with 38 points versus Winnipeg. Winnipeg is 38. Had the Coyotes lost in overtime, they would have got to 39 points. The name of the arena is 39, like Arizona's 39. But also, if the Jets lost, they would be 4-4 on a 44-date numerology. Talked about how the Jets might split their next 2 games to get to 5-4 because Jets is 54 in both. If the Coyotes won, we point out they would get 5th points on the 15th of the month. Again, 15, the 5th triangular. And if the Jets lost, they would be 1-2 on the 37-date numerology, 37 the 12th prime. So, not a real clear riddle in that game, but probably more things pointing in the Coyotes' direction. So, and who won that game? Coyotes, 4-2. Now the Flyers and the Flames, this was a game that looked good to me. If the Flames won, they'd be 3-1, like 331, the 67th prime. Calgary 67, Hockey 67. It was the 122nd game. Calgary's 122. And if the Flyers lost, they were going to be 2-1-1, which is what happened. 211's the 47th prime. NHL's 47. It's also the Calgary Flames' 47th season. So it looked like a perfect Calgary tribute in Calgary. And what was the score of that game? Flames win it 3-1. Calgary sums to 31 in the most pure cipher. The Red Wings in the Canucks game. The Red Wings had 64 total losses coming in on the 64-date numerology. The Canucks had 64 wins. Again, staying on numbers is never a guarantee. It's more about picking them up. Pointed out the Canucks could get the 157th points versus Detroit. 157's the 37th prime. 37-date numerology. Detroit's 37, so that made a lot of sense. Made an observation about if the Canucks lost in OT, they could get to 5 points on the 15th. I always like prime numbers more than triangular numbers for people who are new here, but I'll always point out the mathematical relationships. But prime numbers are the most consistent. Let's see. So anyway, there were some narratives going both ways, but again, the points, the 157th points on the 37 date, that's the thing that stood out the most. And that is what came through. The Canucks, they won that game 5-1. Pretty dominating win. The Predators and the Golden Knights, this game I thought would be better for the Golden Knights here. There wasn't really a points riddle. But I just saw that Vegas could fall to... Oh, wow, maybe I was tripping. Well, I guess, okay, I must have got dyslexic here for a second. Vegas did fall to 4-3 in this game, and Las Vegas, Nevada does equal 43, so this is my fault right here. This should say can fall to. Apologies for that. But I'm sure you guys caught it as you were reading it. I should have caught it. So Vegas could fall to 4-3 is what it should have said. They did fall to 4-3, but the Predators could also fall to 3-3, and Tennessee's 137, the 33rd prime. So I guess had I written that right, it would have been like that's a tough call. So, and then the last game, you had another points riddle. The Hurricanes were going for their 12 points. Again, you got 37-date numerology. They're playing Los Angeles. Los Angeles is 37. Carolina's also 37. 37's the 12th prime. Plus, the Hurricanes could improve to 6-1, and Los Angeles Kings is 61 in the most pure cipher. So, the riddles that look good and strong came through. Caller?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
On that hockey game, the one that you're talking about right now?
Which one?
Alright, you're connected to my Bluetooth, but anyways, the game, the Golden Knights game, how you said they're 4-3, they're actually 4-3 overall. So you were right, but in the regular season they were 4-2. I saw that last night and I was like, what the fuck? But overall, you were right. They were 4-2. They could have got to 4-3 last night.
Well, they did get to 4-3. No, I used the wrong wording. I should have wrote they can fall to 4-3, which is what they did.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I saw their overall record, and they were 3-3 last night, and then they were or whatever. I don't know. It was their overall record that made sense, but it was weird. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say that.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Cool, man.
All right, see you. Okay, but like this just looked like a good one right here. 37 date, 12 points, 37 opponent. This one I screwed up the wording. I feel bad about that. Try not to do that. The Canucks have the 37 thing going with the points and the date numerology. Again, when you can get the date numerology and the opponent to line up, always a good sign. Calgary, nice little riddle. This game, I probably wouldn't have bet on this one myself. A few more things there, I would say, in Arizona's corner, but still. This one, I don't know if I would have bet on this one, but if I did, I would have got this one wrong. Maple Leafs right, so, the strong picks come through. And again, for people, you got to get used to how I do notes. To me, the notes are clear. People who are around here understand the notes. They're easy to read. And I always bold the things that you really want to focus on. And sometimes I will bold things on each side because you really should think about those. And if there's a bolded thing on each side of the equation, it's probably a good game to stay away from. A lot of times it'll just be one-sided. So I'll try not to do this again. Yay. This should say fall to, not improve. Caller?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
All right. You're trying to get rid of this refrigerator?
Say it again?
What's wrong with it?
What is it?
I say you're trying to get rid of the refrigerator off Craigslist. What's wrong?
Oh, the people online are posting my phone number, and it's a false ad posted by assholes. If you can flag the post, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I will do it.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, that's what the trolls have been doing, posting on all the different Craigslist that I have a fridge for sale. I mean, talk about pathetic fucking losers who are definitely watching right now. So anyway, let's talk about today's games. There's some good riddles on the board again today. So these are today's games, October 16th, Wednesday. I believe there's 7 games in the NHL, and there's few that definitely look like they're worth a stab here. So Avalanche at Penguins, this one's a little bit tighter. So the Avalanche come into Pittsburgh 5-0. And remember, Avalanche equals 50, Pittsburgh 50, so it makes sense they come in 5-0. They look good to improve to 5-0 against Washington. Washington 50. Same numbers that we talk about in all sports. Again, this knowledge is used across the entire world of rig sports. So the Penguins are 4-2. They're a slight favorite at home. Penguins does equal 42, so it makes sense that they're 4-2. It is the Penguins' 52nd season, so you could make an argument for them improving to 5-2 in their 52nd season. However, they're facing Colorado, and Colorado equals 43, a number that definitely plays with Colorado. Colorado's next loss to the Penguins is number 40. Keep in mind it's the Avalanche's 40th season. The Avalanche could also pick up their 6th win of the season against the Penguins, who are in their 52nd season. Remember, when you write out 6, it equals 52. Just like how we liked home teams to improve to 5-2 on Monday Night Football to conclude Week 6, which they did with the Packers win. So, conflict there. Colorado's 1-0 away so far. They've only played one road game. This is the second consecutive road game. They're starting their little road trip right here. Pittsburgh is 2-2-0 at home. If they lost in overtime today, they would be 2-2-1. The name of their arena, PPG Paints Arena, equals 221. So arena names are definitely important. If Pittsburgh loses in overtime, their home record would be no doubt in tribute to the name of their arena. PPG Paints Arena also sums to 157, which is the 37th prime, and 37 is the 12th prime. And if the Avalanche win, they would get their 12th points of the season. This is the 89th game between the two teams. 89 is the 24th prime. It's also the 11th Fibonacci. I guess the only way an 11 could hit is if the Avalanche lost in overtime. So I'll just add that to the notes. 89 is 24th prime and 11th Fibonacci number. If Avalanche lost in OT, they would have 11 points. But those are just things to think about. I think if this game goes to overtime, it's probably going to be the Avalanche's game because the 2-2-1 in the arena fits better, in my opinion. Fibonacci numbers. The last time I remember talking about a Fibonacci riddle in sports was with LeBron James last year. There was a major Fibonacci sequence riddle with LeBron. I'd have to go back and revisit that. But Fibonacci numbers, they're important, but they don't come up in sports that much, at least not that I've noticed. It's been almost a year since that Fibonacci riddle. It was near the beginning of the NBA season. If the Avalanche did win tonight and got their 12 points, their next opponent, I would really like them to win that game because their next opponent's the Florida Panthers, and Florida equals 43, Panthers is 43. That's the 14th prime. So that would be a great opponent to get the 14th points against. And, if they lose tonight, they obviously won't have that opportunity, and it's possible that they won't. Sometimes you start looking down the schedule, things do line up, but it doesn't end up that way. The Penguins host the Dallas Stars next. Stars equals 14. And 43 again is the 14th prime. If the Penguins lost tonight, they'd be 4-3 before hosting the Stars. 43 the 14th prime. So I'd say it's this one's definitely not a one-way street. I do think a few more things line up there for the Avalanche, but still early in the season, and still trying to figure out more which way these teams are going. Penguins got old Sidney Crosby. All right, the Maple Leafs and the Capitals game. So what this makes me think about is how Toronto just won the first NBA Finals for Canada, and now the Nationals just made it to their first World Series, and they were a Canadian team not long ago. And so I was just thinking about it, and I know that Toronto Raptors equals 224. 224, right? So I was like, if the Maple Leafs lost in overtime, they'd be 4-2-2, and the Capitals would be 4-2-2 as well, which is 2-2-4 in reverse. And we just saw how the Capitals falling to 3-2-2 was a crossover riddle with what's going on in the baseball season and the Skull and Bones rituals. So I'm thinking this 4-2-2 tribute is very likely. And that's not using points or anything, but it's just looking at what's going on in the world of sports and how this ritual could make sense. So that's what I'm looking for tonight in this game, for both teams to be 4-2-2 because Toronto Raptors is 2-2-4. And again, just that Canadian thing. Washington Capitals also equals 76. Today leaves 76 days in the year, and the Capitals have not won a home game yet. The Capitals are 0-1-2 at home. If they won, they'd be 1-1-2. And Washington Capitals also equals 2-1-1, which is the reflection of 1-1-2. So, the only thing this riddle's missing right here is something strong with the points. I did note that both teams would be on 10 points if the Maple Leafs did lose in overtime. And if you write out 10, it equals 39 like Canada. So, possible. The Stars and Blue Jackets game. If the Stars lose, they will be 1 win, 6 losses in the win and loss column for regulation, not looking at the overtime losses. Columbus Blue Jackets equals 53, the 16th prime. It's the 16th of the month. Columbus also equals 106. When you write out 16 as a word, it equals 33, like how the Blue Jackets can get to 3-3 today. They can also get their 6th points of the season, and when you write out 6, it equals 16. Hold on, let me take this call real quick. Caller?
Hi, my name is Florida. I'm calling about your Craigslist for a TV.
Can you do me a favor? Can you flag that post? It's trolls on the internet are posting my phone number everywhere all over the United States with an ad for a fridge. It's fake, but if you can flag it, I'd appreciate it.
What is it? Is it it's not correct?
No, it's not. It's not a real ad. It's just somebody.
You don't have a TV?
Okay, I'm just going to hang up on that person. They might be a troll. Okay, not all people are created equal. Anyway, Columbus can improve to 3-3 again on the 16th. And with regards to getting the 6th points, the Blue Jackets, Dallas equals 13. 13's the 6th prime number. Also, it's Dallas's 52nd season. So, good team to get the 6 points again. When you write 6, it equals 52. And this is the 60th game between these two teams. Columbus would get the 60th points versus Dallas all time with the win, which is a lot like 6 again. So, there's 6s all over the place in this one. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and listen. I just buzzed in. You know, I missed my flight last night, so I got an extra day in Vegas.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it didn't cost me, man. So, and I tipped you too, man. I told you I put take your sweet lady to, take her something to eat. Something I typed in the message. I ain't put my name, but I just left the tip and told you to take your sweet lady out to eat it. You know.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Rod.
Yeah, no problem. Did you get any information? Is that game gonna play today? Is it postponed? I just fell asleep in my rental, man.
The baseball game's canceled for today.
I figured that. Yeah, I was gonna tell you that. Okay. All right. Well, I keep listening, and I go back on that hockey and rewind.
There's some good hockey games today, so yeah.
I just heard one. So that's the first one I heard. So I just called in. But man, just keep it up, man. I just wanted to tell you that.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rod. I appreciate it, man. Be safe.
No problem. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, we'll do. See you. Okay. So one extra day in Vegas. Hopefully that flight doesn't cost too much extra. All right. Dallas is 1-3 away. If Dallas loses this game, they're going to be 1-4 away. Stars equals 14. The only thing that I could see that could go against Columbus is they're 1-2 at home. If they lost, they'd be 1-3. Of course, Dallas is 13 in the most pure cipher, but Dallas does have an S, and the 22 plays in Dallas too, so they can get to 2-2 at home. To me, there's quite a few things lining up for the home team in that one. Now the Flyers and the Oilers. Look at this. The Oilers can improve to 6-1. Big Philadelphia number, right? Philadelphia 61, plus they play in Rogers Place, which equals 61 as well. So just put it up here. Rogers Place, 61. Philadelphia, 61. So that is jumping out. This is the 78th game between these teams. Oilers equals 78. And when you add 1 through 12 together, it equals 78. Notice the Oilers can get their 12th points of the season. Also, it would be the Oilers' 6th win of the season. When you write out 6, it equals 16. It's the 16th of the month. It's the Flyers' 52nd season. When you write out 6, it equals 52. So fitting to get the 6th win of the season over the team in their 52nd year. Tonight's game's in Edmonton. Edmonton equals 37, the 12th prime, so good place to pick up the 12 points at home. And if Philadelphia loses in regulation, they'll get their 33rd loss in regulation. They have 33 all-time losses against the Oilers if you count their overtime losses, but tonight they could get their 33rd loss in regulation on the 16th. When you write out 16, it's 33. And then something else that I really like about this game is if the Oilers win, they'll be 3-0 at home, kind of like 300. Look at Philadelphia Flyers. 300. So I'd say that's a pretty good one. And the Sabres and the Ducks, let me see. This one's a little bit conflicted. Okay, so it's hard to go against this. The Sabres can pick up their 13th points. Ducks equals 13 in the most pure cipher, and usually that's what I want to see. It's just that there's a few things that give me a little concern here. Let me check something about Buffalo one more time. What season number are they in? They're in their 49th season. Okay. So the Sabres, just right on the surface, could pick up those 13th points, and it would be the 6th win of the season, 13, the 6th prime. But they play LA next. So it's like, if they didn't get 13 tonight, they'd probably most definitely get it against LA. You don't want to miss out on your wins, but anyway, so if they don't get it tonight, they do have a 13 opponent next as well. Again, if they got the 6th win tonight, when you write out 6, it equals 16. It's the 16th of the month. They're playing in the Honda Center, which equals 53, the 16th prime. Don't forget Super Bowl 53, 16 points scored in the Super Bowl. Brady got his 6th ring. What concerns me, though, is the Sabres could fall to 5-1. And remember, Los Angeles Kings is 61, right? So I would say that, and this is where being patient can be important. You know, if you're in Vegas on your last day, it's tough to be patient because you got to place your bets while you're there. But anyway, Los Angeles Kings equals 61. I'm pretty sure we're going to be looking at Buffalo at 6-1 in the win and loss column by the time they finish with the Kings. And if they lost tonight, they'd fall to 5-1 in Anaheim. Anaheim's 51. So this is going to be the 39th game between these two teams. Anaheim equals 39, and if the Ducks won, they'd pick up their 16th all-time win versus the Sabres on the 16th, so that's there as well. And in light of it being the 39th game, when you write out 10 as a word, it equals 39. If the Ducks won, they'd get their 10th points of the season. So I'd probably shy away from that one. And then the Hurricanes and the Sharks game. The Hurricanes will face the Columbus Blue Jackets next. If the Hurricanes won tonight, they'd be 7-1. Blue Jackets equals 71, who they face next. It's not a guarantee that they'd win, but they would go in with the right amount. And the Hurricanes can also get their 14th points tonight. San Jose equals 43, the 14th prime number. The Sharks can pick up the 6th points on the 16th. That's the one thing they have going. Again, when you write out 6, it's 16. This is the 41st game between these teams. Sharks equals 41. 41's the 13th prime number. So if the Hurricanes lost in overtime, they'd be on 13 points. And if that did happen, if the Hurricanes lost in overtime, they'd be 6-1-1. That would give them a shot to still become 7-1 in the win and loss column against the Blue Jackets in their next game. So, something to consider. San Jose is... Hold on. Carolina has 41 points right now against the Sharks all time. They could stay on those 41 points in the 41st game. I just thought about something else. When you write out 16, it equals 33 as well as 42. Could get to 42 points with an OT loss because it's the 16th of the month. Okay. And if Carolina did win, they would get their 43rd points in San Jose. San Jose's 43, and again, 43 is the 14th prime. They'd also get their 14th points of the season. So the all-time points and the season points would line up in that way. But honestly, not being greedy and not trying to go for every game, because again, the closer riddles is especially where I get burned. But, just looking at some of these ones that look kind of like one-way streets, that's where I would stick today. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I didn't want to disturb you. I knew you were doing NHL. Do you do NBA too?
Of course we're going to do NBA.
Oh, you do it tonight? Preseason, right?
I'm not messing with the preseason, but the regular season starts next Wednesday, so we'll be doing NBA.
Okay, I just asked you, because I thought you meant preseason too. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to call the preseason games. I don't know if they got the preseason coach records out. I'll look for that after we get off the phone, just in case they do, because we were able to do that with the NFL preseason based on the coach.
That's okay, because next week we starting anyway. Don't worry about it, Zach. You okay, man?
All right.
I just ask you. I just make sure you're doing NBA. That's all. You good, man?
Yeah, we'll be doing NBA. You got it.
All right. Thanks, sir.
All right, welcome. Later, man.
Bye-bye. You go. All right.
Okay, so again, there's some games up here that look like pretty nice riddles. And if you just stick to those smaller group of games, might be able to put a nice little parlay together. Again, 2-team parlays, 3-team parlays at the max. That's where you're going to hit your highest percentage. So these notes are all up on the Patreon wall. And if anybody else wants to call in about anything, you're welcome to. What I was going to do is just start to decode this week's golf tournament live, just to show people how I decode golf, because it's sort of the PGA season right now. It's not the major tournaments, but people are asking if we can do golf again. And I was going to wait till the the real golf season gets into swing. Right now you have like the Substars the B tier, if you will, of the PGA playing in these smaller tournaments. But here, we can do this real quick. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you been, brother?
Hey, man, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to know, did you get that text I sent you last night with an article with Garrett Cole's 19th win streak?
I'm sure that's going to go to 20 in light of Astros being 20.
It's an interesting article because they mention the fact he's won 19 of his last 26 starts there. Sorry, 25 starts. So the next game will be 26. It's Yankees. And then, yes, if he wins, he's 20. That's Astros. And he finished the season, I think, 20-6. But the interesting part is if he loses, he'd be 19-1 on his 26th start.
Wait. Say that again. He'd be 19 what?
19 and 1.
Oh, in his last 20. Okay.
In his last 26 starts.
Oh, because 6 of them he didn't get a decision. But okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. New York Yankees 191. That's what you're thinking, right?
Yes, and also I did some research too. Cole has a 14-game winning streak headed back to the regular season at home and into the playoffs.
Huh. Interesting. Okay, we're going to have to look at that some more.
All right, brother.
All right. Thanks, man.
You got it.
So, for my, I hope you guys did this for those of you who took the Yankees and took my advice. The guy who went huge on the Yankees, and he's probably the highest roller around here, early in the season when we liked the Yankees, he took my advice before the postseason began, and what he went out and did is he went down and put out a parlay for the Astros and Nationals, and he did the math so that if he hit on the Astros and Nationals World Series, because he didn't have to bet as much as he put down on the Yankees, because, you're getting 2 teams. So he did the math, and he put down a bet on that, so that if it hit, he'd make more than what he already had down on the Yankees. And then if it didn't hit and the Yankees made it, he'd be golden. So either way, he's going to come out ahead. And again, that's the beauty of this knowledge. If you have this knowledge, if you do make the wrong pick, well, you can correct it later. Hold on, let me take this call real quick. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
Good. Hey, NFL notes. I know it's off topic. Looking forward to the PGA stuff. I just noticed that New England is sitting on a W8. 2 from last year and 6 from this year.
Wait, they're sitting on a what?
A win 8 streak.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true, because we were talking about how they'd get their 8th straight win against the Giants. That's exactly right. Jets equals 9, though, so they could get...
No, I'm just wondering, you were saying that the win 8s were hitting pretty good, so...
Yeah, and that's what I was telling people, because it looked like the Giants had an upset narrative about saying, man, it's hard to go against the Patriots winning 8 straight, and they did. But, yeah, we'll look more at that Jets game. There's a narrative there for the Jets, but if the Patriots did take it to 9 straight, New England equals 45, the 9th triangular number, and Jets equals 9. So, but yeah, that's a good point. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks, man. Okay, so golf. Now, I'm not going to do the full golf decode, obviously, because that takes like 6 hours. But I'm just going to show you how I typically start out. And this will probably take, 15, 20 minutes just to show you how I lay down the foundation for decoding a golf tournament. I'll save the ALCS Game 4 talk for tomorrow. I did post the notes. They're not complete notes because we don't know who the pitchers are yet. They said they could reshuffle the pitchers for tomorrow. But here's how we do golf. So remember, golf is tournament, gematria name, and course name driven. And you want to look at the past winners at these tournaments and courses to see what numbers have been hitting the most. Because usually if you look back at the last 5 or 6 years, at least 3 of those winners have one number in common. And the thing is, if you think about that, if out of the last 5 years, 3 people had a number in common, that means 60% of the years that number hit. And, we did well with the PGA, but there were some tournaments where we clued in on a number and it ended up not being the number that they used for that particular year. So that's also why you want to check after day one of the leaderboard and see what the theme is, because then you can probably be like, oh, look, it's that number. I also saw that number when I decoded the past winners, and it'll probably stick with that number, the one that shows up on day one, if it's not the number you're already looking at. So anyway, I always do the date numerology for the opening day and the closing day. So this tournament starts tomorrow, October 17th. Here, let me just cheat real quick because I already have the date numerology written down for that in the ALCS notes rather than whoops, wrong thing. Okay, this will save us a second. Okay, so start date numerology, and then it ends Sunday, October 20th, 2019. Okay, whoops, can't type. 30, 50, 69 date numerology. 42 date numerology. What's that? 12, 15 date numerology. 49 date numerology. And caller?
Hey, what up, Zach?
What's up, Izzy?
Hey, that Buffalo Sabres game and at Anaheim Ducks, the Buffalo Sabres, they were at home, and they're traveling all the way to the West Coast, so that's usually a spot. I know it's scripted, but that's usually a spot I like to, play the other team, the home team.
Well, I hear you. I hear you on that, because it's just like the 49ers had a 14-game losing streak on the East Coast before they ended it against Tampa Bay, and I'm just wondering if that could be an upset this week, because the 49ers historically have not done well on the East Coast. So, yeah, you're right about that narrative.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, even though it's scripted, sometimes there got to be some sort of narrative to, what happened to this? How this, there's got to be some explanation.
You're right. You're right, Izzy.
One more thing also. Skip Bayless, he's a reporter, has a TV show, and he actually tweeted out, that he had a conversation with Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, saying that, that for the officiating, that making those errors, is good for the game. It gets people talking. So that's kind of legitimizing the scripting. It's good for the game. Right. I just can't believe he said that. He said it on the show, and he also tweeted it out, that he had conversation. It's good. Human error is good for the game. That's what owner.
Yeah, if you've been watching ESPN this week, they've been saying all sorts of crazy stuff about the poor officiating. Similar comments to that. It's a joke, man. The NFL got so stupid this year at the pass interference. Never before have NFL refs really ever called offensive pass interference. Now it's called more than defensive pass interference, and now they added replay, and now when you can see these clear interference calls, they're not even overturning it. It's obviously all meant to just screw with the heads of the fans. Mm-hmm. It's a joke, man.
WWE.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, yeah, good points. All right, thanks, Izzy. See you, man.
All right, bye.
And here's another pattern to pick up on. Every time I get mad at Izzy ends up being right. I got mad at Izzy yesterday, and he was right again. If I get mad at Izzy, go with Izzy. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out if this thing's really called the CJ Cup, or it's also the CJ Cup at 9 Bridges. So what is CJ? Because the key word's always important too. Is CJ a corporation? CJ Group. So you want to know this too. You want to know the gematria of this one. It's a South Korean company. Okay. So look out for your Korean golfers. There's a few of them that are pretty good on the tournament. Caller?
Hey, Zach, so I call you back. I got a question for you real quick. You going to decode the college game for the night? South Alabama and Troy?
Yeah, we'll do that too. We can do that.
I'm sorry, I'm driving right now. That's why I asked you. What game you pick for NHL? What's the best pick right now for NHL for you? You picked 2. You did the best picks.
Go look at the notes because it's real clear what are the best 2. I honestly don't like saying it out loud. I don't like being specific, man. I think they're flipping stuff just to fuck with us. So, I mean, just look at the notes. It's posted right there on the Patreon. There's 2 games that are just one-way streets.
Okay, I understand. I understand, man. I respect that, man.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man. I think that.
All right, see you, man. Yeah. No, I just noticed anytime I put down on the notes, I really like this game, it's like that game doesn't come through, and I'm starting to think, okay, there's something wrong with that. You guys have to realize there's a whole pack of trolls here that no doubt work for these sports leagues. Trying to, when I just put the notes up there and it's clear reads, those games come through. So we're just going to stick with doing that. Okay. Let me see. CJ Cup. And CJ Cup at 9 Bridges. So you want to pay attention to both of these things. Let's see. Okay. Oops. Okay, and then it was called the what? CJ Group. Okay, CJ Group. And if any of these numbers overlap with the date numerology, that's usually a good sign too. Okay. So it doesn't look like any of the numbers from the date numerology are intersecting with the tournament. Okay. Okay, and then we need the name of the course. Does it say what the name of the course is? Is it always the same course? Some of these tournaments use the same course each time, and then other tournaments rotate the course. The club at 9 Bridges. The club at 9 Bridges. Okay. It's in South Korea. Okay, I see. What's the official name of the course? Is it 9 Bridges Golf Club or the club at 9 Bridges? Nine Bridges Golf Club seems to be the name. Okay. Okay, it's always nice when you get overlap numbers, which does happen with some tournaments, but it doesn't look like we have that for this one. So what we're going to have to do is look at so it's only going to be the 3rd year of this tournament. So we're going to look at the last 2 years and see if we can pick up on anything for the people who've won. The CJ Cup 2017 results. Justin Thomas won it. Leishman was in second. All right, so 2017. Let me see here. And remember, in golf, you want to look at the scorecard name. All of these names matter. Thomas, Justin Thomas, and J. Thomas, his scorecard name with his first initial. So J. Thomas is 103. Did I just see a 103 with this? Maybe not. Guess I saw 13s. See how this lined up with him here. Justin Thomas shot a 9 under. CJ Group 99. CJ Cup at 9 Bridges 81 square root of 9. Okay. So Justin Thomas, let me see. All right. 2017 was at the same place. See how it lined up with his birthday. So he's born on the 119th day of the year, and the tournament began on 1019 that year. Let's see. It began 173 days after his birthday. .173 is the 40th prime. J. Thomas's scorecard name's 40. If you write out the CJ Cup, it is 32, because that's where sometimes the matters as well. The CJ Cup is 30. Oh, it's also 40. So actually, maybe that is part of the thing then, because it began 173 days after his birthday, the 40th prime. And then it's got the 32, like Thomas has the, well, actually, and at 86. So that actually could be the way that they're using the gematria for the tournament name with the on it. And again, this is how you figure out like what gematria values are hitting, is by looking at the past winners and seeing which, you know, use of the yeah, J. Thomas has some things in common with the CJ Cup. So I will plug this in too. J. Thomas equals 8640. Thomas equals 32. Justin Thomas won first tournament, well, first CJ Cup tournament, which began 173 days after his birthday, 173 40th prime. And if we're decoding the tournament, you know, these are the types of things if for people who are new here, we decoded a lot of golf this year. We did very well with golf, but this is what you do. You go back and you do the historical analysis, and then you'd go through the people who are in the current tournament. If you see somebody who's got, you know, these numbers in their name and it began 173 days after their birthday, I mean, that would be a good sign. They'd probably at least rank, because a lot of times it's very repetitive with the birthday distances and the name gematria for the way it works out. But let's also look at the 2018 winner. So let's add these notes here again. CJ Cup equals 8640. Thomas is 86 as well, so he's got that double connection to 86. Okay. All right, let's look at the 2018 winner. that right? Okay. All right, so let's see what happened in 2018 on those 2 days. And also, you guys, I just want to make the caller who called in and asked me to say which 2 games I liked. I mean, if you go back and watch the video, I did say which 2 games I like, right? But I'm not going to be real explicit and repeat it multiple times because, again, we already know the drill around here. And he's a veteran; he should know at this point. So I've said why I do things the way I do countless times. People who are paying attention, they're winning. Period. End of discussion. So. Okay, let's go back and look at the Brooks Koepka year. And then the other thing to keep track of when you decode golf, and it's hard to go back and figure it out, but you can look up all these guys' stats, how many current tournament wins they have, how many first place finishes, how many second place finishes, how many third place finishes. If we figure out that 40 is a number that shows up all the time in this tournament for people who place, be looking at who could get their 40th first place finish, who could get their 40th second place finish, 40th third place finish, 40th ranked finish, which is the top 10. So that's the way it is. You got to figure out what numbers hit. And for a tournament like this where it's just in its 3rd year, you can't get as much historical analysis, but let's just see if so his birthday is May 3rd. What did I just do with maybe I forgot to do it. The CJ Cup 2018 results. So it began October 18th. All right, May 13, 2018 to October 18th, 2018. So it was, right? So it began 168 days after Koepka's birthday, 24 weeks. All right, not the same pattern. October 21st. It would have been 1 day off the mark from the closing day. It would have been his 172nd day of his age, not quite his 173rd day, which is the 40th prime, so he was 1 off the mark there. Speaking of Mark, if Mark was still calling, he always liked when things were just 1 number off. To him, that equaled the same thing. I'm not quite sure about that, but... Okay, let's look at Koepka's Gematria. All right, Brooks. Whoops. Didn't I just copy his name? Why did I copy that? Control C. Brooks Koepka. I think those were the numbers. Koepka's got that 103 too, like Justin Thomas did. Koepka's 23. I don't know what it would be about the 103 other than it's similar to 13 like CJ, but the 2 winners both have the 103 connection. Koepka's got the 23 like Thomas too. B. Koepka. For Koepka, I don't know how to go back and figure out what they earned in that tournament, like what first place. I guess you'd have to go through every tournament he's played in, going back to figure it out. But yeah, that's why once the PGA season gets rolling and you have the tournaments with the longer history, easier to decode, but I'd say I was hoping there'd be a clear pattern between Koepka and Thomas. All I can see is that 29 and 103, or 23. What was it? 23 and 103. It's Justin Thomas. So that's not a lot to go off of. Let's see. If there was one number I was going to choose if I went through the golfers for this tournament, just based on the first winner and how 40 was such a big number in it, it's the number I'd have to choose. But again, we don't have a lot of examples to go with. Oh, I know one thing I forgot to decode about this tournament. There's one thing I forgot to do here. The location. It could be the miss. 76. Here, let me get Koepka's name up there. Oops. Let me do this right. We can look at the second place guys too, just for more confirmation. I was just hoping there'd be a parallel between the two winners. And for Koepka, again, it began 168 days after his birthday, or his 169th day of his age. All right. Okay, but I need to get the location again. Okay. I'm guessing if you could go back and figure out what Koepka's stats were, he picked up something that synced with the date numerology or the location. But he's won so much since then, that's going to be tough to figure out. Is it 39 top 10s? All right, let's do the guys that placed real quick, just to see if we can figure out if one of these numbers came up more than others. Leishman. Leishman's got the 81 in his name. And CJ Cup at 9 Bridges is 81. All right. Leishman equals 81. Tournament name equals 81. Let's see how it was for his birthday that year. October 24th. It was actually just before he would have turned he would have turned 34. So he was 33 years old when he got second place. Just before his birthday. The island where they play is 33. Okay. And how's that? Cameron Smith? Is that his name? Yeah, Cameron Smith. Cameron's 33. Let's see. Cameron Smith. I think those were our numbers. C. Smith is 90. So C. Smith is 90 and 36, like CJ Group. So he's got the connection to the corporation. Let's see. Kim's Korean. I forget. Kim PGA. I forget his first name. No, it's not him. I don't think that's the right guy. Let's see. I guess that is him. Kim Min-wee. February 22nd. February 22nd. Let's see. Tournament began 239 days after his birthday, 52nd prime. Didn't Leishman's name just equal? What was it? M. Leishman? No, I guess not. Kim's 33, like the island. W. Kim's 52. So it began 239 days after his birthday, the 52nd prime, and then his scorecard name's 52. So he just had the synchronicity with his own name, it looks like. Plus, okay. Well, so far, there hasn't been any repetitive number, but again, not a lot of history for this tournament. Still, if I had to choose a number that I was going to look for in the golfers for this current event, I'd look for the 40, just because the initial winner, Justin Thomas, had a double 40 thing going on, and that does connect to the name of the tournament. So, Lovemark. I don't recognize that name. Is that guy still on the tournament? Jamie Lovemark. That's a funny name. $269 days. So his name's got the 81 like the tournament name. See 2 81s now. That year the tournament began on October 19th, 119. The winner was born on the 119th day of the year. Love mark is 119. But, okay, so we see 2 guys in the top 5 that have the 81 connection. And again, the name of the tournament in the most pierced cipher is 81. So that's the next number I've really clued into so far. All right. Jamie Love mark equals 81. Tournament name equals 81. Term began 269 days after his birthday. I don't think that's anything. Would have ended on his... I'm not sure about his birthday distance. Sometimes the birthday doesn't matter if you got the right name for it. All right. All right, so out of the top 5, 81 came up twice. Kim, who's Korean, and the tournament is in Korea, he could make sense why he's up there. He had a nice connection with his birthday. And then C. Smith, the other guy up there, he had a connection to CJ Group, who hosts the tournament. So, last year, again, Kepka won it. And... yeah, Kepka just has that connection, like... to Justin Thomas's name through that 23-103. Hold on. Hello?
Hi, is Joshua Greenbolt there?
What's going on, caller? Are you trolling?
What's that?
Are you trolling?
Am I trolling?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I just seen something on Craigslist, giving it a call.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're not trolling. There's an asshole in the world who's posting my phone number everywhere and saying I have a fridge for sale or a TV for sale, so I'm getting calls from all over. So if you can flag that post, that would be great.
Gotcha.
All right, thanks.
Will do. All right.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Duh, now I'm getting it, man. Now I'm getting the whole thing with 23. Oh my god, I can't believe it took me that long to figure it out. You guys are probably already saying what it is in the chat. So the 2 winners so far have a connection to 23, right? What is 23? It's the 9th prime number, and this is the 9 bridges. What is it called again? The CJ Cup at 9 bridges. Okay, so that's what's going on with the 23. Duh. Come on, Zach. Let me just see what 9 bridges is alone. 9. Oh, and 9. Okay, so that's where it connects with Kepka. 9 bridges. Because 9 bridges is 61. And Brooks beat his scorecard name is 61. All right, and this is why, again, like normally when I decode a tournament, people don't get to see me do all this, but I go through and I just look at all the recent years, and I just analyze the people who placed, and I try to clue into what the top number is that comes up again and again. Okay, so it actually makes sense why the only 2 winners so far have the 23 connection. Maybe the 103 is coincidental, but the 23 definitely makes a lot of sense. I should have saw that right away. 23, the 9th prime. So I would also look for that number. Again, I'm not going to do the full decode for you. I'm just going to analyze. And for those of you who want to do the golf tournament, actually, you know what I might do? All right, here's what I'll do. There's just so much to keep up with, you guys, between football and, right now we got baseball postseason and hockey and basketball and fights. What I'll try to do, though, is I'll try to, once the PGA season gets into full swing where the real tournaments come up, then I'll go back to the decoding. Of course, I'm not going to not do it because we won so much at it. But for the time being, I'll just do these light notes, and I'll keep track of who places on day one and what the hot number is. Because even if you don't bet until the tournament starts, you can still get good odds after the first day if you clue into the winning numbers. So that's what I'll try to do up until, the time golf season gets into full swing again. Anyhow, that also makes sense why the winning score of the first tournament ever, which was perfectly synced with Justin Thomas, was 9 under. It looks like it went to a playoff, huh? And it went to a playoff with Leishman, whose name equals 81, that has a square root of 9? Nice. Okay. Finally learned how to tie my shoes here. And I just realized something about Koepka, the tournament beginning on his 169th day of his age. I guess my brain's just warming up. 169 has a square root of 13, right? And CJ's 13, because it's hosted by the CJ group. 169 square root of 13. CJ equals 13. Caller?
Hey, Zach, how are you, sir?
What's up, man?
So glad you're doing well. My pockets are tingling right now. I appreciate you.
Yeah, welcome, man.
But check this out. You mentioned about Koepka. I never noticed this before. He has a brother named Chase Koepka. Can you run him through the thing, too, and see if he's got any type of top 10s?
Does he play golf?
Yep, Chase Koepka.
I never heard his name before.
Me either. I was just scrolling through all the futures bets, and I was like, who the hell is this Koepka? But he's a younger brother of, oh boy. Koepka,
I see that.
Koepka.
Yeah, I see that. He's playing in this tournament. Okay.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yeah, no problem. See you. All right, Chase Koepka stats. Yeah, that's weird. How have we never heard of his brother before? We hear about Brooks Koepka all the time. He's got one top 10 finish. He's only played in 4 events. So that's not bad. One top 10 in 4 events. In 4 events, he's made $174,000. Not bad, man. Huh. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to throw the Gematria 9 bridges out there in the Decode too, because it looks like that might matter. Okay. So far, numbers we've clued into that matter for this tournament. 40 matters. 81 matters. 23 matters. And 81 and 23 both connect to 9. It's the 9 bridges, so that makes sense. With regards to 40, mathematics is 40. That's the big mathematics number called the Pythagoras number. Pythagoras thought 9 was the God number, so that could be part of the reason they like the 40 in this too. All right, let's look at the other guys who placed. So Gary Woodland. All right, hold on. Woodland. I just saw 128 and 38. Where did I just see it? I must have saw it in one of the other golfers' names. I know I just saw that 128 and 38 before I typed in Woodland. Is it in Koepka's name? Oh, it was in Koepka's name. So why would that be? 128, 38. They both break down to 11. I guess the best friend of 9. Huh. Okay, so his name is 128 and 38. Gary, his name is a lot like Koepka's. G. Woodland's 41, and there's that 40 again. So I'm just going to jot this down. What was it? Woodland equals 138, 28, B. Koepka. And I think things like this is like, whoops, typo. I think stuff like this is just like some sort of theming, like Gary Woodland coming second place is somehow part of the tribute to Koepka, him winning this tournament. Okay, so anyway, he has that connection to Koepka. And 34 is Fibonacci number, which, isn't it? Yeah, 34 is actually the 9th Fibonacci number. That's what I was wondering. I was like, is that the 9th Fibonacci number? Okay. So Woodland is 34, the 9th Fibonacci number. Again, 9 bridges. Okay. So that makes a little bit of sense. And what else did Woodland have? 41 and 40. And again, the name of the tournament is 40. And CJ is 41. Was it G Woodland? Okay. All right, Cabrera Bello, let's see. May 21st. All right, let's see. And it began October 18th, 2018. So it began 150 days after his birthday, or his 151st day of his age. All I can say about that 150 is that's an Illuminati number, and CJ is 13, another big Illuminati number, but I'm not going to focus on that. That could be coincidental or not. Hold on. All right, let's look at Cabrera Bello. His name's got the 137, the 33rd prime. Again, the location equals 33. His name also has the 74, 74, and 33 coming together a lot. He came in 3rd place. Cabrera Bello 94. I think I saw that, didn't I? 94. The name of the course is 94. So his name directly connects to the name of the course. And again, you guys, when I do a golf decode and present it, I go over the things like so many times, and every time I look at it, I pick up on more. So I'm sure in this light decode we're doing right now, I'm sure I'm missing all sorts of things that would be important. But again, the reason I'm doing this right now is to show you guys how I do it so that you can practice it too, you know. Okay, so Cabrera Bello, his birthday was right after Woodland's. 146 days after his birthday. Cabrera Bello. Course equals 94. And Raphael. All right, we saw what was up with his full name, his scorecard name. There's that 239 again, and 86. Okay. Again, 33 and 74 come together a lot. His He had both those in his name. R. Cabrera Bello, 239. The year before it was Kim, who won it, or not won it, but placed 239 days after his birthday. Just trying to think if there's something about 9 in that number. Okay. R. Cabrera Bello equals... Wait, what did I see? What was the 86? Was that just with Justin Thomas? And it's interesting how that 239 is just one off from the location. There is a real rule in Gematria that says if a number is one off, it can be considered an equivalent. I never use that, though, because then to me it just makes things too flimsy, in my opinion, but I didn't make the rules. So I never observed that, but that's why Mark, who used to call in, he'd always bring it up. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that, though, because then it'll just be, you'll be able to mix and match too many different things. I mean, even doing this, you're looking at so many different numbers, but you got to figure out which ones are the ones that hit. Wasn't there something about 86? Oh, the CJ Cup's 86, duh. The CJ Cup is 86. Okay, so there was that. And so, I mean, you can't deny that 2 years in a row, there's 2 people in the top 5 who have a connection to 239 as well. So there's probably something if we do more digging on the CJ group or something where 239 comes in. I'm not seeing it, though, in the course name. I'm seeing it one off on the island name. There's got to be something to it, though. And again, 239 is the 52nd prime. I'm not seeing a 52 either, though. It's a reshuffling of 9 Bridges Golf Club. I know there was some tournament that we did this past year where there was a number that kept hitting with winners, and it was a reshuffling of like either the tournament name or the course, and it showed up again in the tournament that we decoded prior to. So it's possible that this is what's up with the 239, that it's a reshuffling of this number, 9 Bridges Golf Club. Okay. And who else do we have from that tournament? R. Palmer. Is that Ricky Palmer? I forget what the name is. Ryan Palmer, okay. Ryan Palmer. There's that 34, the 9th Fibonacci number. R. Palmer. Seeing some numbers. All right. Palmer equals 34, 9th Fibonacci number. So we know 9's definitely important. What was his birthday? He's born in the 9th month, September 19th. So the tournament began 29 days after his birthday, which means it would have ended 32 days after his birthday or on his 33rd day of his age. Again, the name of the island there is 33. Tournament ended on 33rd day of age. Island equals 33. Again, the name of the island is what again? Jeju Island. Okay. What else can I say about this guy? 65. Did I see that number? Oh, his scorecard, or his name, the tournament also began 29 days after his birthday. Palmer equals 29. Tournament began 29 days after birthday. That's another thing we commonly see. If somebody does well and they don't have a connection to the name of the tournament, or the course, it's usually that they just have a real interesting synchronicity with their own name. Kind of like the Kim guy up above. His name was 52. The tournament began 239 days after his birthday, the 52nd prime. So that's usually the exception to being a winner outside of having the connections to the tournament and course. And sometimes you can look at their full names too. It's usually not that though. It's usually either the last name, the scorecard name, or just the name that they're commonly called by. Ryan Hunter Palmer is also 209. But hold on. What was it about? I want to make sure there wasn't a 65 connection up here. Nine Bridges is 65, and Palmer's 65. So he's got the connection to Nine Bridges too. Yeah, it appears that 9 is the most important number for this tournament. Again, both winners, their names equal 23 in the most pure cipher, the 9th prime. Koepka had the connection to Nine Bridges. Justin Thomas had the connection to the name of the tournament. All right, hold on. And Jason Day. November 12th. Tournament was 340 days after his birthday, kind of like 34, the 9th Fibonacci. I don't know about that though. It would have ended 343 days after his birthday, and it would have been, whoops, did the wrong thing. I did. Tournament. I see something there. So the tournament ended on October 21st. That would have been a span of 23 days to his upcoming birthday, again, the 9th prime. All right, so let's see. Okay. J Day is 13 and 4. Oh, and 23. And 40. Name of tournament is 40. Again, that was the number for Justin Thomas, who won the first one. And 13, like CJ Group. You might have noticed 68 come up a lot. Golf equals 68. So oh, golf's also 40, duh. Forgot that golf was 40. Okay. J-Day. Oops. Oh my goodness. Let me go back in and note that golf's 40, because that was the big number with Thomas the first time this tournament was played. Okay, let's see. Jason Day, did we look at that? 946. I see a 46 up here. Okay. So just to do one more thing, so we looked at the tournament history, and what we discovered is people with a connection to 9 have been placing, which makes sense because it's the Nine Bridges. What's it called again? The Nine Bridges Golf Club. So it makes a lot of sense. And we learned that the terminology of Nine Bridges is important. And it seems like out of the gematria of the tournament, the ones that came up the most were 81, 86, and 40. So far that we noticed, we only have 2 years to work with. But 81, 86, and 40. I'll make a note. And if there was a distant third place, it was 32, I would say. Numbers that have come up in top 5 for first 2 years of tournament. Finalists? Is that the right term? Finalists? If I can type. 40. Well, I guess I'll write it this way. I would say from what we just looked at, those were the most common ones. Even though the 40 only came up one time, it came up with the first winner, so I'm not discounting that, and it was a perfect 40 ritual. But 40, 81, 86, 32 do seem to be the most important. Again, we only have 2 years to work with, but that's what we got to work with. So, all right. So again, numbers to look for that are related to 9. 23, the 9th prime number. Both winners have 23 names so far. So 23, the 9th prime. Again, Justin Thomas and Koepka have the 23 connection. And then other guys, we saw the 34 come up as well, the 9th Fibonacci number. So, last thing to do here. Normally I would go through a million golfers. But what we'll do is just look at the top names they're giving us for this tournament. CJ Cup odds. Ooh. Actually, it looks like there's some big names playing in it. Okay. Okay, so I'll do these many guys. This will take a minute here to go through. And you can go through the rest. Assuming I get a minute, I'll look at who's in first place. I'll look at the guys up at the top tomorrow and see if I can identify what number seems to be hitting the most. Because again, in golf after day 1, if you can find a guy with a strong connection, you can still get good odds on him because he has to stay up at the top through the next 3 days of play. So, okay. Alright, so let's put this together here. Thomas, Justin, Thomas, Jay Thomas. Alright, so that's his scorecard. And then we'll measure from his birthday too. That's the other crucial thing you gotta do. Hold on real quick. Let me see what time this college football game starts at that the other caller asked about. It might start soon. Let's see. All right, it starts in over 2 hours. Troy. The thing I noticed about Troy right on the surface is Troy equals 24 in the most pure cipher. So we'll look at that, but I'm just seeing right away if Troy lost, they'd be 2 and 4. Okay, I'll do that after we finish here doing this golf thing. A lot of people have called saying they'd like for me to start doing golf again. So, okay. Okay. Kepka, Matsuyama. Hideki. Matsuyama. I see that his name's got the 61 connection, like 9 bridges. That stands out. Oh shit, hold on, I forgot his scorecard name. He's got that 32 in there as well. He is the 3rd favorite to win it, so again, 9 bridges is 61. Kepka has that 61 as well. In the tournament, never mind, it's going to begin on the 17th. Kepka's got that 59 connection, 59 the 17th prime in light of the tournament starting on the 17th. Okay. Tommy Fleetwood, Tommy Fleetwood, he's got the connection to 9 bridges. '61, '65, like 9 bridges. And when you decode like 100 names in the tournament, you start to realize how as you get to the guys who are ranked lower and lower, you see less of the connections with the course name. It's like, oh, this is how they figured out the odds this week. They gave all the guys with the connections to the course name. They're all up at the top. Victor Hovland, let's see. But that's the nice thing about golf is when you decode the guys who are deeper in the tournament, oftentimes those guys who are deep that have the connections, they play really well. And what we witnessed last season is a lot of them, they'll hang around the top 10 and fall off just barely on the last day, so they'll finish just outside of the top 10. But in golf, you can even bet people to bet top 20, and the guys who are way down at the bottom with like 300 to 1 odds, for them to finish in the top 20, it even pays well. That's how people who paid attention last year during golf, they made a ton of money because they realized like the patterns were pretty consistent. And in golf, you got options to bet where people can place. They don't have to finish in first place. You get pretty good odds on guys to finish top 10, top 20, depending on where they're ranked. I mean, you can't get good odds for Brooks Koepka to finish in the top 20, but for a guy who's 300 to 1 or 500 to 1, you can. Let's see, who else? Colin Morikawa. Let's see. Oops. I see he's got that 94 in his name. I know a 9 relationship I forgot to jot down is 45, the 9th triangular number. We didn't see that number come up, though, in any of the winners that we decoded, but doesn't mean it wouldn't come up again. I'm going to plug that in real quick while I'm thinking about it. Or did I write that about 9s? Okay, there we go. Jason Day. Oops. Spieth. Spieth hasn't won anything in forever. And Mark Leishman. Oh, Leishman's got the 45 in his name too. I was missing that before. 45, the 9th triangular number. He placed second, I believe, in the first year of the tournament. He's got the 94, the 81, the 40, and the 45. He actually has quite a few things that connect. Did I document all that when I first wrote it down? I gotta plug in more stuff here for Leishman up here. What was the 94 again? The name of the course? Yeah. All right. Hold on. Okay. So Leishman, who came in second, actually, and he was in a playoff. He actually had a lot going on. And he was in a playoff with Justin Thomas, who had the Super 40 connection. Or, whoops, hold on. Okay, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense why it came down to a playoff between Thomas and Leishman that first year, and it makes sense why Thomas won, because he had that stronger connection to 40, the name of the tournament. And again, he had the 23 in his name, which Leishman didn't. 23, the 9th prime. There's 36 as well in his name. Wasn't that part of CJ Group or something? CJ Group is 36. So he even had a connection to the sponsor, Leishman did. Yeah. And that's usually the way it is. The people who have the most connections to the course, the tournament, the date, the sponsor, they're usually the ones who are right up at the top. So Leishman was overloaded. Okay, so we have all this name gematria up here, and it's too bad nobody's 9-1. Is anyone 23-1? Come on. Okay, so the other thing to do is now measure from the birthdays, and then the things I always look at: the gematria, the birthday distance, and what tournament number is it for them, and can they pick up a first place, a second place, a third place, a top 10 finish that syncs with one of the key numbers we're looking at. So, all right, Justin Thomas birthday. We'll do the birthdays first, and then look up the PGA stats. So the tournament begins 171 days after his birthday. That's the 18th triangular number. Tournament begins. Okay. I'll expect you to do the math on the end date. 3 days later, 174, a span of 175. Brooks Koepka, his birthday was May 3rd, right? Yeah, it is. May 3rd. 167 days after his birthday. Let me look at golf again. Whoops. Golf. Okay, Hideki Matsuyama. February 25th. $230. 33 weeks and 3 days. We saw the 33s were big. Tournament. It's also 7 months, 22 days. It's kind of like pi. So he's got an interesting birthday alignment there. And again, he's got that number 61, like 9 bridges. Doesn't have the 23 though. Sometimes the first name has mattered. Not usually the first name, but there's been some times where I was like, this guy's connection's through his first name. So Tommy's 23, the 9th prime. I'd really be looking for those 23s. J Day is 23. I don't even think I documented that before. And again, these are just the top favorites. There could be people down the list that have some really great connections. If somebody had a 23 name and the tournament began or ended 23 days from their birthday, I would like that a whole lot. That would make a lot of sense. Okay. Tommy Fleetwood. January 19th, 119. 271 days after his birthday. That's the 58th prime number. Freemasonry number 58. But it doesn't look like it goes with his name. But he's got the 61 and 65, like 9 bridges. His first name has the numbers that have been with recent winners. 8623. All right, let's see. September 18th. All right. So for Hovland, the tournament will end on his 33rd day of his age. He does, well, his first name's got the 40 in it. All right, Morikawa. February 6th. 253 days. That means the tournament will end on his 257th day of his age, which is the 55th prime. 253 is the 22nd triangular. Golf's 22. He does have the 94 and 40 in his scorecard name, which are numbers that matter to this tournament. He's got the 34 in his first name. Doesn't have the 23 connection though. Golf is 22. So he's got a good name though for this tournament, the 94 and 40. I don't think he's Korean. Is Morikawa a Japanese name? I think it is. Yeah, Japanese name means forest river. Okay. He's 22 years old right now, too. So that's actually a really interesting birthday alignment for a 22-year-old. 253 days after his birthday, 22nd triangular number, golf 22 while he's 22 years old. And he has nice numbers for this tournament. What's he pay? He doesn't have the connection to 9, but if he pays decent to place in the top 10, I I just like how it lines up with his age. And again, that 94 and 40, those numbers were 40's the CJ Cup, 94's the golf course. So he has the tournament name and the course name. I like that. Colin Morikawa's got a lot of 2s in it too, doesn't it? And 65 like 9 bridges, 34 9th Fibonacci. All he's missing is a better connection to 9 in one of his key names. Okay. Let's see, from his last birthday. It's 339 days after his birthday. United States of America is 339. This tournament's in Korea, though. Let's see. Oh, hold on, though. That means the tournament will end. That means the tournament will end 23 days before his birthday, right? Okay. So he placed last year, it was a span. This time it's just 23 days. And the end date is favorable for him. And again, he has the 40 connection, tournament name, 13, sponsor name. J Day is 23, his scorecard name. And yeah, but that's enough. He's got enough connections there. All right, Spieth. The tournament's going to begin on his 83rd day of his age, which is the 23rd prime, and 23 is the 9th prime, so that's interesting. Tournament begins 82 days after birthday, 83rd day of age, 83, 23rd prime, 23, 9th prime, 9 bridges. How old is he right now? He's 26. He's got the 33 connection like the island. Jordan's 26 like his age. I'll just make a note about that. 26. Special number there. Okay, 32. 32 connected to the tournament. Might be worthwhile to go back and look at when the last time Spieth got first place was. See if we can figure that out from his stats here in a second. We'll do the stats next for these guys. How many days were it? 358. Okay. Oops. 359 is the 72nd prime. Par 52. Okay. All right, so those are the top guys with the favorites. And usually when you look at the top, a lot of them do have strong connections, which is what we see in a lot of these guys. That's why, I'm not going to do it now, but like I said, once more free time frees up, I'll go back to doing the regular golf decodes where I go through the full laundry list, the top 100 guys. Because what's more fun is when you dig down near the bottom, the guys who are the long shots, and you find the really strong connections, because those are the guys where you can get the big payouts. It's just like that one tournament where people made the most money. We had two guys who were like around 80-1, and we liked them both a lot, and one won the tournament. I think it was Ches Revy. And then the other guy who was right next to him, I can't remember whose name it was, but he placed in second or third right there. And both of them had awesome connections for that tournament. So that's the nice thing about golf. I mean, it's just like, it's like making a bet on a NFL future, and instead of having to wait the whole season, you got to wait 4 days. So I've been getting a lot of phone calls saying, Zach, you should just do golf and forget everything else. But I mean, the reality is people want the other sports because, I don't know, they do. So, but again, I'm putting the knowledge in your guys' hands. I'm taking the time to teach you guys how to do this. It does take a lot of time. That's the one thing a lot of people don't have is time. So what I plan to do once the new website launches is make pick section and put extra content there for people who really want stuff, to charge a few extra bucks for it. Because if I'm going to not sleep at all and just decode every last sports game, I want to build this movement faster than it's building. And it's not that I'm not grateful for the amount of revenue coming in. It's just my goal is to actually change things, and I can't do that. Like, I can't hire a team of people with $10,000 a month. So a lot of you guys said you'd like to pay more. I set the new thing up about a month ago. Support this movement, $20 a month. Thank you to the people who have signed up for it, but it's not a very big group of people. So anyway, last thing to do here is look at the stats. So ten wins. So if somebody's going for their 9th win, this could be a great place to get the 9th win, or something like the 23rd win. That could be great. He has 45 top 10s already. Again, that's the 9th triangular. I wonder if he could miss the top 10 in this. But he can't hit anything that's 9. He could get his 4th, 2nd place, his 8th, 3rd place. I'm trying to find some people that can hit some 9s. All right, let's look at Koepka. Oh, man. He's on 7 career wins, 1 off the mark. He can get his 40th top 10, though, and the name of this tournament's 40. So that stands out. If only he could get that 9th first place. Koepka can get 40th top 10. And again, what is it? Where's the CJ Cup equals 40. Okay. So it'd be a great place to get his 40th top 10. Koepka probably doesn't pay a lot to finish in the top 10. It's probably close to even money. But the numbers are right. He's on 9 second place finishes. 7 career wins. If he was going for 9, I would love that. I guess as he doesn't finish in 2nd because he's already on 9 there. But yeah. Okay. All right, let's get Matsuyama. He is the defending champion. He won it there last year, and Justin Thomas won it the year before. Okay. Matsuyama, his next career win is 6. Next 2nd place 5. Next 3rd place 7. His next top 10 is 42, and when you write out 9, it's 42 in the most pure cipher. So is Japan, who he represents. So the tournament's not in Japan, it's in South Korea, but could still be fitting to get his 42nd top 10 here. Again, he had a nice little birthday connection. H. Matsuyama connects to the name of the course. Hideki Matsuyama, 61, like 9 bridges. So he's got a couple things. 33 weeks and 3 days after his birthday. Isn't there something else I just pointed out about him a minute ago? Maybe not. All right, Tommy Fleetwood. His next top 10 is 17 Fleetwood. He doesn't have a win yet. This is going to be his 60th event. The tournament begins on the 17th. Possible. He's got the right first name. His next top 10 is number 17. Tournament begins on 17th of October. Something I forgot to do. I meant to pay attention to what tournament number it is for each person. This is going to be Matsuyama's 153rd event, which is the 17th triangular. So let me jot that down. This is his 153rd event, 17th triangular number. And it begins on the 17th of October, so that's interesting. Okay, Koepka. Oh yeah, or never mind. 127th event, which is the 31st prime. And Justin Thomas. 139th event. That's Brooks Koepka's number. Okay. Okay, Victor Hovland. A history to go off of. Event, 2 top 10 so far. But so far he's averaged a top 10 in 1 out of 6 events. Only thing I really see for him is he's got that 32 connection. Alright, Morikawa, let's see. This is going to be his 14th event. Golf is 14. Golf's 14 and 22 like his age. Remember, this is the guy that has the really interesting alignment with his 22nd birthday. 14th event. Golf equals 14. He has 1 win. That's pretty good. Four top 10s in his 14 events and already a win in a second place. 4 top tens, 1 second. And if I'm not mistaken, when you write out 5, yeah, 5 and 9 both equal 42. I'm not going to make a big deal about that. But I like that it's his 14th event. He's already got his first win, though. Okay, Jason Day. His next win is 13. 10 second place. His next top 10 is 74. It's his 253rd event in the 22nd triangular number. His next top 10 is 74. The course didn't have a real... And that's something else you can do, too. You can look to what the next tournament is. These guys don't always play in every single tournament. But you know what? He could get his 13th win, and that was actually a big number with this. His next win is 13, and what is it? CJ Group is 13. And we saw how last year Koepka was on his 169th day of his age, square root of 13. So... I'd say Day has a shot because, again, the tournament ends 23 days before his birthday. J Day's 23. CJ, it's CJ that's 13. Okay. CJ Group. So this could be, because, again, that is the sponsor. So I'd say he's got a shot there. 253rd event, 22nd triangular number. What were his odds? 25 to 1? 25 to 1. When you write out 13, it's 99 too. And what was the 99 thing about this tournament? No, there was something that was nice. Oh, CJ Group is 99. Okay. All right, Spieth. So Spieth's got 11 wins, 13 second places, 7 third places. He's on 61 top 10 finishes. Again, 9 Bridges is 61. 174th event. $174th event. That's a lot of events already, you know. Jordan does equal 62. Tournament does begin on an interesting day for him. Sometimes people come in with the number that we're looking for, and a lot of... Yeah, that's a tricky thing. Sometimes they come in with the number, and they do advance off it. They add +1. I guess in Jordan's case, it could make sense because his name, Jordan, equals 62. And again, he's 26 years old. Is there a way to figure out when the last time he won was? Career, there's got to be a way to see. He hasn't had a first place since 2017. I don't know how to figure out what tournament that is, though. That could be some research worth doing for Spieth. And just to measure from that last tournament. Because, I mean, God, it feels like he's due to do something. Doesn't have to be this tournament, but it's just a long time to... Because if you remember back in 2017, they were talking about him like he might be the next Tiger Woods. But he's fallen off since then. Okay. His 273rd event, Leishman, let me see. 273. He could get his 9th third place finish. His next top 10 is 47. His next third place finish is number 9. Again, 9 bridges. He's got the 94 and 40. 94 is the course, 40 is the tournament. He's got the 81 tournament, 36 CJ group, 45 9th triangular. He did finish in second place here the first year. So if he had a second and a third place finish, kind of like 2-3, 23 9th prime. So I was hoping there'd be more of those for these guys, but yeah, it could be. 9th third place finish. We know the tournament has a lot to do with 9. His next top 10 is number 47. Kind of be like a 911. Okay, I'll post these notes, and again, you got a good start here. You know some key numbers to look for. If you got a hunch on the tournament, if you know golf, maybe scan. And again, you don't have to. I mean, it takes longer for me to show because I'm making the post, right? If you're just scanning real quick, you know, plugging in people's names, running their birthday, you can just jot down on a piece of paper, pen and pencil, what stands out. But again, what I'll do tomorrow after day 1 is I'll scan through the top 10 leaderboard and see if we can zero in on a number or see if one of those people has a really awesome connection. Usually on the first day, there's some guys who are down from the bottom that are some surprise people up there. A lot of times they fall off, but sometimes if they have a strong connection, they stay up and you can still get the good odds on them. So we'll do that. And no promises, but I'll try to keep up with golf each week going forward. And like I said, once we get more into the golf season and when some of the other sports slow down like football and whatnot, I'll get back on the golf full time. So, but for going forward, I'll try to do some light decodes like this. But for anyone who hung around and watched this, I hope you can appreciate how much time it takes. Because I mean, and we just did the top guys. I mean, normally I do like 100 golfers. So, okay. I will post this on the wall of the Patreon page. And let me see. People are still here. Guess I didn't bore everyone away. Oh, I forgot to do the college football game. Let me post these notes real quick, and then we'll do the college football game tonight. All right, the CJ Cup PGA Tour, October 17th through 20th, 2019. I forgot about how the tournament ends on the 42 date numerology. I was talking about how when you write out 9, it equals 42. When you write out 5, it equals 42. There were some guys we saw that could pick up their 5th, like 2nd or 3rd place. Worth thinking about. If you can find guys down at the bottom that have 23 connections, like a strong 23 connection, their name and their birthday distance, those would be the guys worth taking a flyer on. So, all right, let me post this on the Patreon wall, and then we'll do the college football game real quick. All right, let's see. The CJ Cup PGA to our notes. Okay, I'll let everybody have access to those. Why not? College football game. Okay, next thing to do. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. South Alabama football head-to-head. Are they not in the football reference? Here we go. Okay, so what's their record against Troy? Okay, they are 3-4 versus Troy. Okay. Head to head. 3-4 versus Troy. And Troy is at home. At Troy, they're 2-1. So that's interesting. They have a losing record overall, but a winning record at Troy. Yeah, they're 1-3 at home. Okay, so nothing jumps out there with the date numerology. $277 59th prime, 97 25th prime. So South Alabama could improve to 2-5 at the stadium. Troy's a big favorite, huh? $55.5 points. South Alabama could improve to 2-5. Name of the stadium. Okay, so it looks like they're a long shot. Eighth game. All right, what's South Alabama? What's their name? Jaguars. South Alabama's 33, so Troy can improve to 3-3. All right. But Troy also equals 24. Okay, so you can make an argument either way. Again, Troy's the big favorite here, so they're the likely winner. Not necessarily, though. South Alabama Jaguars. 3-2-2, huh? Jaguars is 23. 191, the 43rd prime. No one can get that for a record. Let me just see what the name of their conference equals real quick. Sun Belt. 21, no one can get to 2-1. Alright. What's Troy's name? Trojans. Well, that makes too much sense. Trojans is 25. Ooh, that's interesting how South Alabama can, with an upset, would be 2-5. So there is a narrative on the board for an upset. Just because South Alabama could improve to 2-5. Trojans is 25. Veterans Memorial Stadium's 97, the 25th prime. You have to look at the coaches here. Trojans is also 97, the 25th prime. I guess it makes sense why their stadium equals 97. Troy Trojans. I have to look at the coaches and the last time they played each other. The last time they played was October 23rd, 2018. So 51 weeks ago. Let's see. Yeah, that should be 51 weeks ago. $3.59, that's not prime, is it? Oh, 72nd prime. Hang on, let me just make this Trojans, Troy, Trojans. Let's see. Okay. Look at the coaches here. By the way, on the 33 thought, I should also note that October is 33. It's the only month that equals 33 if they got to 3-3. All right, Steve Campbell. All right, so I just saw that the last game was a span of 359 days ago, which is the 72nd prime. And the South Alabama coach, Steve Campbell, his name's 72. Let me see. This game was a span of 359 days ago, 72nd prime. Steve Campbell equals 72. And who won that game? South Alabama lost 17-38. They got wasted. $55 points. Okay. That game was at home. So they got wasted at home last time they met, and now they're playing in Troy. So based on that recent history, it's not a good sign. All right, Steve Campbell. South Alabama coach is 4-14. It's his 19th game. He got his 15th loss. When you write out 15 as a word, it equals 38, like the date numerology. I don't know how much stock I want to put in that. What about the Troy coach? Chip Lindsey. So it's his first year coaching. Chip. Chip 72 as well. Lindsay's 38, like the date numerology. Troy coach is 2-3. Well, based on how bad Troy beat them last time in South Alabama, and assuming the teams are still about the same competitive level, you'd have to assume that Troy would do it again now that they're at home. Again, if Troy wins, they're 3-3, and the opponent, South Alabama, does equal 33. It's just that Troy's also 24. They could fall to 2-4, and if the other team won, they'd be 2-5 for the season. Veteran Memorial Stadium's 97, the 25th prime. Trojans is 97 and 25, so I mean, there are numbers there to support it. It's just, in light of this game being on the 16th of the month, that's the other thing I'm overlooking. 16 equals 33, so that's probably the winning clue since they're having this game on Wednesday. So yeah, 33 probably is the number since it's on the 16th. And South Alabama could get their 6th loss on the 16th as well. 6 and 16 have that relationship. Actually, I'm not missing anything. Guess we can look at who they play next. Troy football plays Georgia, Georgia State, Panthers, upcoming. Troy plays Georgia State Panthers next. Panthers equals 43. Would have to win to have a shot at 4-3 record. Can I get some information on this school? They have a record. (0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3, 4-3). Go figure. The Panthers are 4-3. Okay. All right. So Panthers 43. They play Army this week. Army, Black Knights. Black Knights. Hard to say. Okay, and then South Alabama. Let's see who they play next. Again, what you want to find in college football is where the coach can pick up the win or loss that corresponds with the gematria of the other team, especially when it's the full name, like South Alabama Jaguars. You're not going to get that in this game because neither of these coaches have very much experience. All right, South Alabama plays Appalachian State. What are they, the Mountaineers? Is Appalachian State really ranked? They're a ranked football team? Huh. That's funny. Okay, Appalachian State. Appalachian State Mountaineers. Let's see. 1, 2. Well, unfortunately, I don't see anything with their next opponent that gives us any clue about their record. After they play Appalachian State, they play Texas State Bobcats. Let's just look down the road and see if anything ends up lining up. Texas State. 26. They'd have to... So if South Alabama split their next 2 games, they would be 2-6 going into Texas State, 26. Texas State Bobcats, 43. Bobcats is also 17 though, so you can make an argument if they win in 1-7. If they play. Well, it looks like they'll lose to Appalachian State, right? If they're a ranked team, they must be pretty good. So you can actually make an argument about that. 1-7 or 2-6. The game's on a date. So, I mean, the numbers do suggest the possibility of an upset, but the numbers also support Troy winning. In light of them being a big favorite, and in light of the fact that they wasted South Alabama on their own field last year, it's just, I mean, miracles do happen in college sports, but I'm thinking because it's on the 16th and there's a strong relationship with 16-33, them getting to 3-3 over South Alabama 33, that's probably the most logical riddle. If there's some hockey games tonight and you want to make a dollar bet, parlay the games you like and throw South Alabama in there as a big multiplier, I mean, you could, but I have a feeling that that's not going to happen. So, to me, it looks like Troy takes it. I don't see any clue, though, through the name gematria of the teams or the stadium or the date numerology if they cover 17 points. That's the one thing I don't... Like, if we had a 59 date numerology, the 17th prime, that could be a sign, but... What meeting number was this for these teams? This is going to be the 8th meeting. Hold on. Let's see what South Alabama's been doing in their games. All right. They barely lost to Georgia Southern. They lost by 3. They lost by 13 on the road to Louisiana Monroe. They got wasted by UAB, 32. Got wasted by Memphis. Jackson State, the only team they beat. Wow, they played pretty tough with Nebraska. Huh. That game was at Nebraska? Yeah, I'm not sure about them covering 17-point spread. It's kind of interesting that Troy's such a favorite in light of them not being an amazing team. So, I doubt South Alabama pays very much on the money line. So probably just not a great game altogether, but I imagine Troy does get to 3-3. So probably be the smarter pick to put in your parlay. But I would just do it on the money line and see if it's even worth putting it in there. So. And again, we saw that if Troy won, it would give him a shot at becoming 4-3 versus the Panthers next week. And then the other team, you could make an argument either way, win or lose. So, okie dokie. I'll post these notes on there for anyone who wants to mess around with this game. And plan on live streams being around the same time we started at today. Early afternoon Pacific time, late morning, early mid-afternoon East Coast. We'll definitely do them before the games start, but just because, again, for people who are newer here, we moved the start time to real early in the morning West Coast time because baseball season games start early often. Now the baseball season's over, the majority of the games start later in the day, and where games start earlier, I'll be sure to get the notes out before the games are played. So we'll call it a day. I'll post these notes. And, somebody caught something about 17 in today. That's actually a good observation. Nice math. So, the observation is October 16th is the 289th day of the year, and I didn't know that 289 had a square root of 17, but that is true. So maybe that's why the spread's 17. But even still, I just... Oh, that's a typo right there. I still don't know if they would cover that 17 just because today has a... Yeah, that could be the clue, but I'd just like to see the 17 connection in one of the teams, and they don't have it. South Alabama did get beat by 21 last time at home, if you wanted to go off that. Okay, but nice work there with the observation about the date. Today is 289th day of the year. 289 has a square root of 17. Last time there were 55 combined points. And notice the over-under is at 55.5. Last game, 55 points were scored. Troy won by 21 points. And I guess what I should have wrote down here real quick, one last thing we can do about this game. October 23rd, 2018. October 23rd, what is it about that day? It's the day leaving 69 days left in the year. October 23rd, 2018. 1, 3, 6. It was a date with 17 numerology, and the losing score was 17. I cannot. It's my keyboard. I gotta get a new keyboard. Okay. So it was a date with 17 numerology. The losing score was 17. It's a date with 44 numerology as well. And date with 71 numerology as well. Okay, so the upset's not out of the question just because the numbers would support South Alabama getting to 2-5, but again, I think Troy getting to 3-3 on the 16th over the team that equals 33, in light of the way they whooped them last time, is the smarter call. Again, I doubt Troy pays very much on the money line, but there is now a little bit of support to support the spread of 17, just it being the day of the year that has a square root of 17, so it's within the realm of possibility. And they did beat them by 21 points last year on the road. This time they're at home. So, okay, I will post these notes, and then we'll be back tomorrow. And I imagine the live stream will start right around noon Pacific, 3 Eastern time tomorrow as well. I will get out the notes before the games prior to the live stream. And I might even start it a little bit before noon. It just depends on the way the day's going. So, all right, appreciate all you guys. I will get the notes posted right now, and we'll be back tomorrow. All right, good luck, Truth Seeker.